What's up, everybody? I'm Tucker.
And I'm Nate.
And today we're here to talk to you about a new release from North. It is the Midi. As you might expect, it is a mid-length board, and it's been a really fun one to ride, try out here at the shop for mid-length for winging primarily. It's also, definitely a pronable or a pair of wing sort of size you could use it for sure. And right here we have the 5'8", 70 liter. So this is kind of an average size for a lot of riders, intermediate riders, kind of do it all, or even like a heavier rider as a higher performance board. So we'll talk you through some of this. Nate's been riding it a lot. He's hardcore on the North gear, so I'll let him talk through some of the experiences he's had on it since he's had more time than me. And we'll show you some of the cool details of this board.
Yeah, so I've been getting out on this thing a lot, and like Tucker said, it's kind of you do it all board for me. I'm 165 pounds and I'm light wind, like even 10 knots with the 6 meter to we were out in 30, I think knots or something crazy like that. And pop in, efficient, so I'll jump it, it'll go in the water, pop right out. When I'm taking off, it's very efficient. I mean, this thing, I have no complaints, and I'm not biased with the North gear. I've ridden a lot of the stuff. I started out on a big fat board and went to a very long downwind board, and now I'm on this, and this is my do-it-all board. I have no complaints. Like I said, efficient, fast, great with wave riding, doesn't touch down, doesn't slack anywhere. Yeah, it's really your Goldilocks board, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they nailed it with the name. It's a mid-length, obviously, but it also kind of toes that line of mid-lengths. It's got a lot of performance, but it's also built with some really efficient, easy to ride touches here. So going into it, it's a mid-length. It's a little longer, a little narrower as you might expect. It's got a really surfy shape. So even though this is 19.5 inches wide up here in the fattest portion, back here where it really matters, it's quite thin. It is pretty profiled out. So when you're really railing turns, I mean, back here it's super narrow, but then you have these deep chimes. It's probably, I don't know, 13 inches wide back here by the foil box. So you can really keel this thing over and get it ripping. Don't let the 5'8" scare you.
That's
you can
what I
ride
said.
this in high winds, really hard keeled over, hard turns, no problem. There's a bit more board there, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. When you're on a 10-foot wave and you touch down for a second, it just skips back, keep going, rather than putting the brakes on, sending you over the handlebars. You can see a lot of this is inspired from downwind boards. We've got that narrower, efficient nose with just a slight hole, single kind of comes through the middle here. So it's really easy release, clean through the chop. Flat with a little rocker out the tail. Obviously lots of chines here, like I said. So this board, once it gets planing, really has less drag, less board in the water than it would if it were just square boxy rails. As a result, it is a little bit less stable than what you might get from a more boxy board at the same width. So this is definitely not a board for a brand new rider. You want beginner level experience, at least able to get up and ride confidently. And then you could transition into this in the proper size quite easily. But what I will say is those people looking for a board that's just really easy to get going, you're already up and riding, you know how to kind of do the basics, but you don't have as much drag and you get a bit more directional stability from a board like this. So it is easier to build speed and take off. It's definitely easier to ride smaller foils, even if you're not, maybe quite 100% well-versed in that yet. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
and I do want to capitalize on that 5'8". Don't let that scare you, because when I first rode this board, I didn't remember the sizes, and someone asked, I go, oh yeah, it's like a 5'2". Like, it feels small. You're on that wave and you're really only looking at this part. Like you said, efficient, pops in and out. It's just a great all-arounder.
Yeah, the length gives you that ease of use, that light wind ability, the sleekness, the thinness of this board, and some of the other features give it that flair, that surfy performance. So it's pretty exciting. Going to the deck of the board here. Well, before we go there, we have handle on the bottom. A lot of people really like that for carrying it, even though it is a narrow board. It's kind of thick, so it can be hard to get your arm around it. So having that handle is handy. Got the drop box. So if you're using the North or a foil that has the same kind of pattern, you can just drop it in there.
Game changer, by the way. Love it.
Don't need to take the nuts out.
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Coming to the deck here, we do have options for straps. So some mid-length boards do not have options for straps. This one does. You got center line down the middle. You've got slight angled or double strap options there, or V strap down the center. In the back, it's just down the center, so be aware of that. I don't think that's a problem for most people, especially on a board this narrow. You know, your toes are kind of already hanging off there. Even if you're kind of sunk into the straps a little bit, you can ride them a little looser if you want to get outward a little bit more. But you know, functional strap placement for most foils and riders. Good, you know, sticky traction, no complaints. I do really like these levers on the side.
Love them. Especially
on a narrower board like this. Like, how nice is it just to have a little grip there? So when you're getting up, especially maybe it's cold, you got mittens on, and you're
No, I didn't realize how nice that would be until I had it there and could use it.
Gives you that grip, that rail.
And also using that foot when you're switching and tacking and using your feet and jibing and all those things. It's like just having that foot, that feeling, I know instantly my mind just connects and does it.
Yeah,
you
get your foot too far over here, you know where it's at.
Yep.
You know, this very subtle arch bar in the middle. It's a flat top, maybe 1/4 inch arch bar. It's a real tactile response to know where your foot is on the board. It does give you a little bit more leverage off the toe if you're performing a hard toe side turn, so that's nice. But primarily, it's to index your feet. So when your foot's on there, you can feel it. Or if you're too far to one side, you can feel it. It gives you that kind of that bumper, so you don't flip off, slide off. It's just a well thought out. I mean, small thing, traction pad, but it's well thought out.
Yeah, it's very well thought out. And like you said, there's plenty of room too. Like you're not losing anything. You don't need more, you don't need less. It's just very well placed. Everything's really well designed. They thought of it all here.
Yeah, they nailed it. Construction wise, this thing is pretty robust. It's not the lightest mid-length we carry. It's maybe 1/2 pound heavier than average, but this thing is solid. It's robust. I know you've been treating it nasty. It looks brand new. So it's pretty nice to know that investing in a board like this that you're not likely to grow out of. It's something you can hang on to for the years to come and not have to stress about constant ding repair and having an eggshell kind of a board you got to take care of. So
absolutely.
Small detail, but we do have an auto vent plug in this. So it's something to be aware of. You don't need to screw with this. You don't need to take it in and out. It comes pre-installed. So you're good to go. Don't touch it. It automatically vents out your pressure. So don't need to stress about that. So that's something to know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so this is the Midi from North. There's a full range of sizes to suit everyone, whether you want to go real small, prone size, go out and paddle into some waves, foil drive, winging. This is kind of a mid-size in the 70. Do it all. You could prone this, you could wing this, you could pair wing this, you could foil drive this. So this is a pretty killer utility size for somebody your size, or even for me. So check these out, guys, and let us know if you have any questions here at the shop in the comments section below. We'll get back to you.